There is a strange law that almost nobody notices. Presence loses value through repetition. Absence creates value through contrast. The less available something becomes, the more important it suddenly feels. Not because it became more valuable, because we finally noticed its value. History has left us countless examples. Today, we're opening one of them. Many years ago, a young woman named Elizabeth was crowned Empress of Austria. The world called her Sisi. From the moment she took the throne, she belonged to everyone else. Every single hour of her day was micromanaged by a royal court that viewed her not as a person, but as a public asset. She was expected to smile for the public, satisfy the strict rules of the palace, and heal the political wounds of a fracturing empire. She became hyper-available. If a diplomat needed a favor, she was brought out. If the crowd needed a distraction, she was put on display. She became the emotional cushion for an entire kingdom. For decades, she gave every single ounce of her time, her energy, and her identity away just to keep the peace. Until one day, something deep inside her completely broke. Elizabeth realized that no matter how much she gave, the empire would always demand more. So she made a terrifying choice. She walked out of the palace gates, boarded a ship, and completely withdrew from the world. She stopped being accessible. She stopped being available. She spent the rest of her life traveling from country to country in absolute isolation, hiding her face behind a heavy black leather fan and a dark silk veil. She explicitly refused to be looked at by the public. She completely refused to be used by the politicians. And that is when the empire panicked. When she was present, bleeding, and suffering right in front of them, they took her for granted. They critiqued her walk, her clothes, and her silence. But the absolute moment she became unavailable, her absence became a national obsession. The royal court literally did not know how to function without their beautiful, compliant sponge. Her empty chair at the palace dinner table carried more weight than any speech she had ever delivered. Elizabeth's story reveals a dark, undeniable psychological truth about human nature. People rarely value the water until the well runs dry. Every mind hides a mystery. If you want to uncover the architecture behind why this layout keeps repeating in your own life, take a quick second to subscribe to Inkling. Let's open the case file on you. If you are the person who always answers a phone call on the very first ring, who instantly drops your current projects to rearrange your schedule for someone else's minor emergency, and who constantly apologizes even when you did absolutely nothing wrong, you are living in Elizabeth's velvet cage. When you make yourself infinitely available, a quiet, dangerous psychological shift occurs in the minds of the people around you. Your presence stops being viewed as a precious gift, and it starts being treated as a basic entitlement. Your brain has a simple habit. It completely stops noticing what it expects to always be there. Electricity, running water. You only notice them when they're suddenly gone. People are often no different. In psychological circles, this specific mental glitch is known as abundance blindness. When any resource is perceived by the brain as infinite, unconditional, and completely free, the mind automatically categorizes it as a permanent background fixture of the environment. You cease being viewed for your intrinsic value, which is the unique, complex human being you are. Instead, you are assigned a purely extrinsic value. You become a tool of convenience, an expected utility. Think of a background utility app running silently on a modern smartphone. You never praise the app while it processes tasks flawlessly in the dark. You never think about how much battery power it is burning just to keep your system smooth. You only notice its existence when it crashes. By ensuring your availability has no structural baseline, no boundary, and no personal cost, you have trained the people in your life to interact with you like a background app, rather than an independent human soul that requires rest. So, what actually happens when you finally decide to change this dynamic? What happens when you step out of the velvet cage, put down the veil, and say your very first true, uninterrupted no? Everything changes, but not in the peaceful way you might expect. The very first reaction you will face from your social circle will not be sudden respect or understanding. It will be anger. They will accuse you of being cold, selfish, transactional, or distant. They will act as if you have personally attacked them, simply because you chose to take care of yourself. Behavioral science explains this sudden, hostile pushback through a well-documented phenomenon known as an extinction burst. When a living creature has been deeply conditioned to receive a specific reward by performing an action, and that reward is suddenly cut off, the behavior doesn't just stop. Instead, the creature experiences a massive temporary spike in aggressive, desperate attempts to force the old reward to return. When you establish a sudden, firm boundary, the people who have historically relied on your easy compliance will push back with heightened emotional intensity. They will guilt you. They will challenge your memory. They will pressure your decisions. Do not mistake their intense anger for your personal failure. They are not upset that you are behaving badly. They are experiencing the natural panic of an extinction burst. They are upset because the clean line you just drew has cut off their free, unmetered access to your mental energy. They do not miss your actual presence. They miss your predictability. Withdrawing your availability is a brutal, but entirely necessary sorting mechanism for your life story. It acts as the ultimate emotional mirror. Boundaries don't change people. They reveal them. The people who genuinely value you as a human being will adapt to your boundaries. They will respect your space. But the people who only valued your usefulness will drift away in frustration. They will not reflect on their behavior. They will simply look for someone else who never says no. Your assignment this week is to choose one minor boundary. Do not answer that late-night message. Do not volunteer for that extra task that makes your stomach turn. Let the silence hang heavily in the air. Let them feel the weight of your absence. You were not born to be an open public well where everyone can drink until you are dry. If they cannot learn to appreciate your presence, let them learn to respect your absence. We will see you in the next case file.